All right, everyone. Welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for Thursday, May 18th, 2017. So the moon is still in Capricorn here today. We could be feeling still a bit emotionally reserved, emotionally detached, perhaps. We are in the third quarter phase today, or entering into it, which means that there's also this sort of fuel to take some steps. We had the full moon last week, so if there was any insights you gained last week, it's an excellent day for implementing those insights. And of course, we still have the sun in Taurus, so there still is a lot of this grounded energy in terms of how we're focusing on things, which is likely very slow and steadily at the moment. So today, though, very important, we got Saturn trining up to Uranus, going exact technically tomorrow for most of us, but certainly within the orb today and tomorrow. So this is significant because we're talking about two very slow-moving planets, Saturn, Uranus. This has been going on since late December of last year. And so if since then, if there's been anything that you felt inspired to cultivate in your life, to build, that you knew would take time, but at the same time, you know it's best for your freedom, your aspirations, your ideals, your excitement. And so this is really coming together here today. And I think probably more so tomorrow, starting to see that at least now we know what to do, or we have a bit more clarity in terms of what actions to take and steps to take to cultivate these ideals, this freedom that we could be wanting to build in our life. So it's going to go on until November of this year. So now it's the active phase. We got the second half of this transit, which is all about implementation, and there can certainly be a shift with that this week. All right, we also have Mercury shifting into Aries this later part of the week, so there is clarity generally, less of the foggy, intuitive, inner energy where Mercury's been, which is our mind, and now coming into a much more active phase of our mind, a bit of clarity, probably being clear about who we are, what we want, and how to pursue those things that we do want in life. All right, so let's go and look at this in more detail when we return. All right, so there's the moon finishing up Capricorn here today. So yeah, very grounded energy with the sun in Taurus, moon in Capricorn. Here with our emotional body, probably just wanting a bit of stability, feeling a bit, detached, which helps us make, discipline and pragmatic sort of decisions, which again can go well today if you are guided to. Now, the moon is going to be shifting into Aquarius the evening time. For those of us in the Americas, we'll be feeling this in the evening, more than likely. A bit of shift towards the progressive side of ourself. That's what Aquarius is all about. And for the next couple days, probably wanting to cultivate our individualism, just like that Uranus, our freedom, and a bit of our ideals, and yes, that progressive side. So that's the moon, our emotional body, certainly grounded there in Capricorn, sun in Taurus, Mars in Taurus. So focused on things in a slow and steady way, really good for accessing our self-reliance, our resourceful side, and really being grateful for what we have in our life, and enjoying things along the life journey. So there's Mercury shifting into Aries, which is a much more favorable placement for Mercury to be in. He actually went in here about a month and a half ago before he went retrograde back into Pisces. So it's somewhat familiar territory, but we could be very direct with our communication. There could be a bit of clarity with our practical mind. And again, just a bit more insight about the things we want in life, our personal needs, and perhaps pursuing that, communicating that, thinking about that, and maybe with the routine as well. So we still do have Venus in Pisces, but mind you, Venus actually likes to be in Pisces. She's exalted here. So I think if you have been feeling more of the uncertainty and the doubts and the nebulousness, that oceanic energy of having to let go and surrender because we don't exactly know where we're at or where things are going. That's certainly easing up with Mercury leaving, only leaving behind Venus, which is our relationships, of I think probably just us having more surrender in our relationships, wanting to accept the area of relationships and also accept those in our life which can lead to compassion, understanding, and I think all in all just a bit of easygoingness. All right, so that's the shifts here today with the placements. As you can see, Saturn trining up to Uranus, going exact at 02:15 Eastern Time. So today and tomorrow, certainly this now shift. You could even say shift to the life journey, but shift with all the structures and things we've been building in our life. And again, since late December, if you felt aspired towards something, if you felt like you want more freedom in your life, or you want to build your life, so it's more of a reflection of what you're about, there is some insight, there is a shift of perspective taking place today and tomorrow. And I think probably more so tomorrow, actually implementing this and knowing where it's going and then putting the energy into it. But today is great for mixing things up, mixing up any structures you may have in your life, bringing in both the Saturn side to it, which is the, discipline. We have the patience to build these things. We have the wherewithal, but then also bring in a bit of the excitement there, the freedom, the ideals, those aspirations. So they're really coming together. I think it's going to happen very naturally. It's going to happen in different areas for all of you. If you do want more information, do check your weekly horoscope where I talk about which houses this is associated with. But collectively, yes, there is a shift, and I think it's certainly towards long-lasting freedom. All right, so yeah, that's the most important thing going on, I would say, today. But the sun is sextiling up to Chiron. So on some level, there's just an opening for maybe healing our self-expression. We could be feeling a bit rejuvenated, refreshed in terms of anything that you do feel like you may want to express today. All right, express about yourself. Maybe it's creative. Maybe it's what you're focused on. But I think all in all, there could be a rejuvenation with whatever this opportunity is here to express ourselves. Now, in terms of the lunar aspects, so on a minor note, we do have the moon sextiling up to that trine. So very nice here, actually. There could be a shift maybe in the evening time about, starting to feel this way, starting to feel a bit open for the freedom and wanting structure, yet that excitement in our life. So it's the emotional body sort of activating this. And usually the moon does activate certain things. So maybe it is in this later part of the day that some insights come in or some understanding or something like that, that then helps you propel up until here, November, of implementing these changes to our structures, to our foundations in life. All right. And then there's the moon going into the third quarter phase. So this does make it a great later part of the week for taking steps, right? It's a challenging time where we can challenge ourselves to take steps towards, again, whatever insights we gained from last week. And the moon is going to be going over the south node. So there might be some past patterns at the same time, right? In this evening time, even though things are shifting, maybe it's going to require letting something go. Some past patterns, feelings, unhealthy attachments, things like that. And you could find that very liberating, very freeing. And again, it's just sort of giving you a bit less of that weight that's then going to help you see whatever this larger stuff is that is certainly shifting this later part of the week. All right, so that is the day in a nutshell. Saturn trine Uranus, structure combined with freedom, a very nice aspect. It's going to be influencing all of us individually in different ways, but collectively there could certainly be a shift of seeing how we can, yes, build these things that are towards our excitement, that we feel like if we structure, if we build, and we know it's going to take time, but as we continue to put energy into that, it's going to, it reflects what we're truly about. Uranus is that higher self there. All right, maybe some healing taking place on a minor note. There's just an opening there for self-expression, creativity, which could be very healing today. And as we go into tomorrow, I do want to mention, Venus is going to be opposing up to Jupiter. So we could be doing a status check in terms of our relationships, in terms of the things we do value in our life. Again, very much like Taurus. And so if you do feel anything that is an over extreme or wanting to expand, over optimistic about the values or about relationships, I think keeping things nice and balanced could be good today. But at the same time, again, being grateful for what we have in our life, being grateful for who we have in our life, and just seeing that with Venus opposite Jupiter. All right, so Yep, that's the most important thing. Mercury shifting into Aries as well. A bit of clarity with the mind, right? A bit of directness with that communication and thinking about things. Sun in Taurus still reserved in the sense of we're willing to take things slow and steadily. And finishing up today, the moon in Capricorn, a bit of this emotional mastery, of being aware of the feelings in a sense of detachment, which allows us to do things today that does require discipline and patience. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.